Hi, welcome everyone to Pop Cult X episode 173. I'm Gabriel. With me is Danny, co-host of Pop Cult X, as always, and we're here to discuss all things pop culture from a Gen X point of view. Let's go ahead and get into it. How's it going, Danny? How have you been?
Been good, been good. There's quite a bit happened, I guess, this past week in pop
Yeah,
culture. We got a lot of new stuff showing up, a lot of controversial performances, I guess, if you will.
yeah.
Some documentaries that dropped, and I guess I'll just start off by saying, for the first time since the Chargers left San Diego, I watched a full NFL football game.
Oh, wow.
And of
Okay.
course, that was the Super Bowl that this past weekend. And go Eagles, because I did not want the Chiefs to win, so I'm happy. And I'll just say that because my mom was born in Philadelphia, so
Okay.
I'm an honorary Eagles fan, I guess. And I don't have a team to root for anymore since the Chargers left, so maybe I'll just stick with them. But it was interesting to watch football again. A lot of things have changed
How's
since
it?
I hung up my cleats, so to speak.
Yeah.
The major thing that I noticed that was different was on kickoffs. So it used to be that the kickoffs, they all would all line up way back in their backfield or in their own 20 or 25-yard line, and the kicker would run up a kick and everyone would run down at the same time. Now this time, I noticed that both the offensive team and defensive team would stand still. The kicker would kick it, and they wouldn't move until the receiver caught the ball. And
Huh.
once the return man caught the ball, then the whole play started. I thought that was weird. I guess it's for safety, you know. You don't have people barreling down at full speed trying to hit someone. But
Yeah.
it was just interesting. I was like, what is this? What is going on here?
I have no idea. I didn't watch the game. I just watched the halftime show. So I'll take your word for it that it was.
Just trust me. Yeah, I'm a huge football fan. But the score was good. I'm glad that it was a blowout. That I don't know, just something about the whole, maybe it's the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey type thing that just, I was glad they didn't get to celebrate another victory. Um, it's just one of those things where it's like, if you're popular long enough and you're good long enough, people are going to root for your downfall, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like maybe that's what it all came down to, and that's why she got booed at the stadium when they showed her on like the jumbotron or something.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she's sitting there. I have $2 billion. I don't care if you boo me.
Yeah, that's what I think it's really funny is when regular run of the mill people boo celebrities. It's like, do you think they care? Like they really don't. Like you could boo all day long. Like she's still gonna go home in her private jet and live in her mansion and eat gold bars or whatever it is rich people eat. And
Eat gold bars.
yeah, like no one's gonna like she doesn't care.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
So
that's very
I thought
true.
that was odd that I didn't see it live. I saw like clips of her getting booed along with Trump, and I didn't get why people. I mean, I get why people are booing her, but it's like she's someone's girlfriend. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, her supporting Travis Kelsey in the actual game itself, that's perfectly fine because that's what you're supposed to do as the
Yeah.
partner or the relationship. You're there to support and root on your man, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Your spouse or whatever the case may be. So I didn't have a problem with her doing that. I think it's the fact that she's distracting so much media attention from the actual other players who are there working their butts off for the ultimate goal in sports, in that sport, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more of what for me, at least watching it, I didn't see as much of her this
Yeah.
time, which is good. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Well, was she wasn't doing anything to make a spectacle of herself, right?
No,
And
she
there's
never
always
does that I
there's
know of.
always famous people at the game. So it's like, was Paul McCartney taking away from the players or
But Paul
I don't
McCartney's not in a
know.
relationship with any of the players on the field.
Yeah, but like they still focus on celebrities because they're celebrities.
Yeah, of
And
course.
that's gonna always happen.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. As if she's not doing something specifically to be like a spectacle, I mean, it's not her fault. It's the
Oh
media's
no,
fault for focusing
I
on
agree
her.
with you completely. Yeah, and yeah, I agree with that completely. She's just there to root on her and support Travis, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, you're right. It's the media and them just focusing on her when I
Yeah.
would rather much see like the third string linebacker who has played 12 years in the league and finally has a chance to win a Super Bowl and does, and his emotional story and journey to get to that point. But they don't do that. Or maybe they do, but not enough.
I don't know. I think that maybe I don't know. People are more interested in Taylor and
Maybe
than the football players. Yeah.
that's more of a reflection, I think, of on us as a society, then, right?
Yeah. But speaking of the game and the Super Bowl, the other thing that was really cool was the halftime show. Did you obviously watched it, right? What were
Yes.
your thoughts about the halftime show?
I'll start this by saying that I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan.
Okay.
Something about his rap styling and his voice really, I really did try to get into it and listen to it. I tried listening to his latest album, especially because I heard that they had this cool mariachi singer kicking it off and he collabed with her. So I really tried, but it just something, I don't know, just resonated with me oddly.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the choreography and the dancers, wow, that was spot on. That was great. And I could have hit mute and just or put on a different soundtrack and just watch them perform. That was
Yeah.
just phenomenal for me.
Yeah, I know I think I was talking about this today at work. I know four of his songs that he played
Hmm.
during the halftime show, and I like the songs. So I that was like more than I thought that I would know about Kendrick Lamar, or is that his name? Kendrick
Yeah,
Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Um I'm not a big hip hop fan. Like I like pop hip hop. I don't really necessarily like legit hip hop.
Yeah,
So I'm not like a super huge fan of his. I do like the four songs that he played that I know. But I thought that it was really entertaining. I thought he sounded good. I know there's a lot of people that are saying that they couldn't understand him, but stylistically, like it is what it is. Like if you're not a fan of hip hop, like you're not gonna like it. But it's not like it killed you to watch a hip hop halftime
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Like
that's
the way
true.
some people are acting. Like if it was a country artist, like I wouldn't watch it, but I wouldn't go online and like bitch about it and say it was the worst halftime show ever.
Right,
You
right.
know, I'm not even gonna repeat the stuff that they're saying about him, but um I thought it was entertaining. Like I did. My favorite part was the Serena Williams cameo
Hmm.
and her doing the crip walk.
Hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. I
Yeah,
love her, and she looked really good. And it was a nice little cameo.
yeah, yeah. That was cool. I mean, I thought the whole staging and story of it
Yeah,
was more than just a performance, right? And that's what a lot of people have been debating on the internet about is the symbolism behind it all, about having Sam Jackson, Uncle Sam, right?
yeah,
And then people were comparing that role that he played there compared to like the Django Unchained and his his role that he had in that,
yeah,
and a whole lot of symbolism that I I was kind of, I don't know, I want to say oblivious to, but it went over my head at my first viewing of it,
yeah,
and then going back and reading people's reactions and telling, okay, if you missed it, here's what it all meant, and then seeing that in sequential, and then watching it again, and how like the video game PlayStation controller buttons, how maybe it could select the Squid Games and stuff like that, and how that symbolism came in. I was like, wow, that is pretty ingenious. So it took it even to the next level than just in me enjoying the choreography that I already did.
yeah. Well, and I think that that goes to show like it's like good art. It's
Yeah.
multi-layered.
Hmm.
You kind of have to let it like sit with you and like develop these ideas and really understand what the artist is trying to say. And that's what he did. He created something that wasn't was entertaining on face value, but also it had deep layers that were meaningful as well. So I think he did a really great job with that.
Yeah. And I think it was funny. I saw a lot of memes going around that a lot of people were complaining. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but then they turn around and turn on Pearl Jam Eddie Vedder.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah.
It made me laugh because, like, you know what? That is so true.
Yeah.
And every time I think about that, I think about Adam Sandler as the opera man on Saturday Night Live when
Yeah.
he would do the Eddie Vedder song,
Yeah.
and it just that just made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, speaking of another hip hop person or rapper that is been in the pop cultural zeitgeist right now is Puff Daddy or P Diddy,
Hmm.
Diddy, whatever you want to call him, PD. I watched the fall of I think it's called the Fall of Diddy. It's on HBO Max and it's a documentary series on the allegations that are being said about him, and it kind of rehashes what Cassie went through or allegedly went through with him.
Hmm.
The last episode I just watched it was from the perspective of his assistant and what he would go through to
Wow.
um, help P. Diddy facilitate like these wild freak offs or wild nights that he would have. And what thing that was really surprising to me is that they have all this like, I don't know if you want to call it evidence, but like they have all these stories or anecdotes about him being problematic for like such a long time, like from almost like the beginning of his career.
Hmm.
And it makes me wonder, like, why does it take so long for people to be held accountable for their actions? Like, it's like, so who is the P Diddy right now? Like, who's the person that we could stop from doing these horrible things while they're actually going on? Like, do we have to wait 20 years before that person is gonna be brought into the light, the light? Like, I'm sure there are people that are already out there, and it's like, people can't be complicit and have to speak out and stand up for people that maybe can't speak up for themselves. And especially when you're dealing with people that have an immense amount of power like Puff Daddy has. Excuse me. um and just I think that's like one of the main takeaways for me is that there was so many people that were witness to these horrific events and acts, and some based out of fear, some maybe out of self-preservation didn't say
Yeah.
anything. But if they did had come forward, maybe they could have prevented some of these acts from actually occurring to more people. So it's really interesting. It's if you're into legal cases and true crime documentaries and dramas, I definitely would recommend it because it definitely is got a lot of interesting facts, and it kind of goes along with his popularity and how he was so instrumental in bringing hip hop to the forefront of
Yeah.
mainstream. And with that came a lot of success and power, and then like what he chose to do with that on like a personal level um is really kind of eye-opening.
Is it more money, more problems?
Yeah, that's the song he made.
There
Yeah.
you go. I really don't want to get into that with
Yeah.
watching that. I don't know why. It's just something. Not that I'm trying to excuse his behavior, because if he did all that he's alleged to have done, he should be locked away for however long deemed necessary.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It's like, am I just burnt out on hearing all these people that have done all these bad things for so long, and I don't want to, you know, follow it anymore?
Yeah, it can be exhausting. It definitely is something that takes a toll on people mentally, because you whether or not you like Puff Daddy or not, but you put certain people kind of like on pedestals and you admire them, you respect
Hmm.
them, and then you see them for maybe what they truly are. And it's really disheartening to see,
Yeah.
like, is there any good in this world? Like, can we like anyone? Like, are
True.
there any like true heroes that you can, you know, admire and respect? Or, is it what they say about not meeting your heroes true? And
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
kind of ignorance is bliss, kind of put your head in the sand and not ask too many questions about these people because they may let you down
Yeah.
the reality of who they really are.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. But yeah. maybe I'll watch it one day just because I want to study a few more true crime documentaries, and just because I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a little shameless plug here. I'm working on a new project, everyone. It's a true crime mockumentary audio podcast, so stay tuned for that. And I'm casting for it. So if you're watching this before I finish, go to I'll link below in the for a website where you can go if you're interested in lending your voice to my project.
Yeah. Speaking of casting, I've talked about the show The Pit on HBO Max and how good it is.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, it makes me want to be on the show. Like, it doesn't make me want to be a doctor, but it
Okay.
makes me want to pretend to be a doctor because it
Slept
looks
at a
like
Holiday Inn last night.
yeah, it's like they're having so much fun. Like, I don't know, like the all the medical jargon and the procedures that they do um is just so cool.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't want to actually be a doctor and have to do it for real, but like playing pretend it would be really fun. And they have so many characters act like there are so many actors on the show that I'm like I could slip in on there like
I could just sneak in there. I think I read somewhere it was an article today about that the doctors agree that the pit finally gets the medical drama right.
yeah.
They finally get the ER actually more true to life, which is kind
Well,
of cool.
they're spending so much time, like each episode is 1 hour of time.
Hmm.
So, like, I think that really lends to it being more realistic because it's like so much happens in this small amount of time. Like, and it's it's urgent and it's extreme and they're being pulled in all these different directions and I'm sure that's what it's really like to be a doctor in an ER.
I heard, yeah, that's right. I heard people were comparing it to like 24 with Kiefer Sutherland.
I never watched that show, so I can't really say.
Neither did I, but I just know that, like you said, each episode like an hour in that day, right?
Mhm.
So that's how like I think 24 was over its 24 episodes or whatever.
Okay.
So something similar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you been watching any TV shows or
I've been watching actually two shows. So I mentioned last time I'm watching Mythic Quest that got released season 4, and it's really good. They just had a nice little, and I talked about the one-off episodes that weren't really into the main storyline. So they
yeah.
kind of did that with this most recent episode. They did like a murder mystery episode
Okay.
called the Villain's Feast or something. And so they went to like this, kind of like Glass Onion Part 2, where they went to like a private island, and so it's kind of like revolved around that. But it was really fun and exciting, and the ending was very well done. I cheered because of what it was and what those characters went through to get to that point. So if you're familiar with that show and that episode, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to spoil it, but I
Yeah.
highly recommend it. And another one that I don't know if you had a chance to watch yet. I just binged I think the first 5 episodes was Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus.
I saw the first episode.
Okay, did you enjoy it?
Um it was good. I can't say that like I loved it, but
Okay.
it was good.
I really enjoyed it. It was surprising me because I'm not a big fan really of Marvel's animation. I
Yeah.
think DC really holds more of the foothold on my enjoyment of that, maybe because it's darker or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what they did with the show, with the characters they're bringing in, the character development. You see the transitioning, how they go, how he's growing, and into his powers and whatnot. And it's really good. I think you should keep going with it.
Okay. Yeah, I like the cameo of Doctor Strange in the first episode. I thought
Mhm.
that was really cool. Um and like I said, like maybe I just need to give it more of a shot. I thought it was good. I just didn't like love it and want to like jump into more episodes.
Mhm.
Uh, but I can't help but compare it to like Into the Spider Verse, like
Yeah.
Miles
Yeah.
Morales, like
Yeah.
animation style. It's got like its own feel to it. It's like kind of like a comic book come to life.
It
Uh,
is. Yes.
and
Hmm.
so that's really cool. So yeah, I'll definitely probably check out more episodes of it.
Yeah. It's like what I really enjoyed was like it's like MCU adjacent in a way because
Yeah.
they mention the Sokovia Accords, they mention the Germany airport fiasco from like Civil War. But of course, in this version, Spider-Man wasn't there. He was at home in the friendly neighborhood.
Yeah,
So it's interesting that they're tying that in though. So I'm curious to see where they're gonna go. I think it gets released weekly, so I'm waiting for the next episode now.
nice. Speaking of comics, is there any new comics that you're getting or that you've purchased or that you're interested in?
Um, I haven't really been into comics recently.
Yeah.
Um, there was a new Moon Knight, Fists of Kenosha issue that came out with a variant cover that I want to get by Jay Gonzo, one of the artists that we've had on the show before. And
Yeah.
it looked really, really cool. If I can find the image, I'll plaster it right here.
Yeah, I saw it. It is
Oh, you
really
did
good.
see it? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really cool, and I want to get that one. But that's been about it really for me for comic books.
Yeah, I stumbled upon something that I think is really cool. It's by American Mythology Productions. It's Return of the Living Dead. I guess they're
Ooh,
doing a series on it.
cool.
Return of the Living Dead is I've talked about it like so many times on the podcast that it's like one of my favorite horror
Yeah.
movies. So it's I'll kind of show a bit of the
Oh, that's
cover.
cool.
This is issue number one. Punk rock and zombies like
Yeah,
the winning combination for me.
it is.
So I stumbled upon it. I saw the second issue and it has this like mohawked girl with like a baseball bat all bloody and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So then I had to like buy the first issue off of eBay because I couldn't find it anywhere. So it's really cool. Zombies are cool. Punk
They don't
rock.
scare you anymore? Is that it?
They do scare me, but it's like it's a love hate relation. It's not really a hate. It's just a love fear relationship. Like I love getting
Love
scared
fear,
by
really?
zombies, um, and they it always works. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm into it.
cool.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. I like the punk rock. Anything with punk rock, I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's fun,
Yeah.
especially just like the aesthetics of punk rock. Like to be like drawn in a comic book is really cool. Like I love the visuals of it.
Hmm.
Uh, so really cool.
Yeah, I think that cover of like Spider Punk, right, where he's like smashing the guitar, kind of like the Ramones cover up
Yeah,
album cover. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces. So
yeah.
very cool. I not punk rock, but I did listen to some new music.
Okay.
I think Lady Gaga released her new song and video for Abracadabra. And
Yes.
the visuals were just wow. It blew me away. It was like Parisian high fashion meets like David Bowie meets like all sorts of different aesthetics, and it was like the light and the dark and they coming together and the choreography. Did you watch it first of all? I guess I should ask.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw the premiere of it with when I was watching the Grammys
Okay.
and my jaw like kind of was like unhinged and like dropped on the floor just because it has literally everything that makes Lady Gaga like amazing and
Yeah.
me love her. It's like the weird Lady Gaga, the Lady Gaga that is like heavily choreographed,
Hmm.
uh, the fashion Lady Gaga, the like avant-garde, really cool fashions, the cool music, the like
Hmm.
hooky chorus, like everything that I could want, the song has and the video had
Yeah.
like the
Absolutely.
dark dance pop grooves, the just the lyrics, everything about it was just super cool. Like made me so happy. It's like it. I think like it went to the top of the charts like all over the world.
Yeah.
It's just such a good song. Like it's such a like return of like old school Lady Gaga of like
Hmm.
being a weirdo
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
um heard the dance pop. So it just I loved it. It was really cool. It's such a good everything about it is perfect.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think I was lying in bed at like 3, 4 in the morning, couldn't sleep. And for whatever reason, I put on YouTube and the Vivo, that channel came up because I like watching music, listening to music. And that song came on, and I was like, well, I hadn't seen this one and watched it. I was just like you said, jaw dropped. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to watch it on a bigger screen. But yeah, it's just the whole album is going to be such a throw when it does finally get released.
Yeah, there's a really good interview with Rolling Stone that I would recommend that you go see, where she talks about she's talking about the production of the first single, and she gets into singling out like specific instruments,
Hmm.
and it makes me respect the song so much more and her for like the production value.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, listen to the bass here, like here's like the live drums,
Hmm.
here's like this, like the background vocal, and you like really get to hear it. Because when it all comes together, like that's one thing and it sounds amazing. But when you like hear like all the pieces on their own, you're like, wow, like the background vocals are amazing
Yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah. Especially when you're hearing it from the artist. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like on a computer and she's like playing it for the person that's interviewing her, and it's really cool to hear the breakdown of each of the instruments and her vocals and her talk about her inspirations and how she wrote the song and came up with the sounds and all of that. So it's really cool. I would check it out. It's a really cool interview. Gives some really good insight into her process.
That's cool. I'll go check that out. Very cool.
Yeah. It made me so happy to see it. Like I've seen the video like a dozen or more times. I've watched it over and over again. And I love watching. There's one reaction video that we've watched a couple times, and it's a guy and girl, and they're watching it for the first time, and the reactions are so hilarious. They react in such an extreme way, and they're obviously like really big fans, and they're just like dancing, they're like screaming. They're at one point like the guy's like gagging because he's like so like amazed by the video. It's just so funny. It's great to see people reacting in such a positive way to her music and video.
Very cool. I wonder if our audience would like to see reaction videos from us. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be interesting.
Maybe. Let's see. When you go watch Captain America 4, right? I
Yeah.
think you're gonna go watch it soon. It does
Yeah,
get
I'm seeing it
released.
tomorrow.
It does get released, like you said, tomorrow. Where we're recording this the day before Captain America's Eve, I guess. You should have a camera pointed at you while you're watching it for your reactions.
Yeah, I'll try that.
You won't bug anyone.
Yeah, that won't be annoying at all to anyone.
uh, did you see? And this is going back to the Super Bowl real quick because it just reminded me. I don't know why. What reminded me? Maybe the commercial or the trailer for Captain America. Did you see any of the commercials from the Super Bowl that maybe stood out to you?
I saw Matthew McConaughey. I swear I saw him in like 8 different commercials. Like was he in like a lot of
Well,
commercials?
he did it for Uber Eats, right? He did like this whole sequential like world building commercial for Uber Eats, him and Greta Gerwig, and then there was one with Woody Harrelson for I think that was something different, but they he was building up to making this movie about how football was created to sell food.
Yeah.
And that he was pitching that film to Greta Gerwig, and that's maybe why you saw him in so many.
Yeah. It was really goofy. It was funny. Um,
The Bears.
yeah, I pretty much like that was the only one that really sticks out to me that I can remember commercial wise. Outside of like I mean it's not really a commercial, but Lady Gaga's video.
Yeah.
Or wait, that was the Grammys. Uh yeah, I don't really can't really say that there was any other commercials that stuck out to me. What about
The
you?
the only one I think that really stood out to me was the Jeep commercial with Harrison Ford.
I don't think I saw that one.
It was good. It was simple. It was, selling the car. It was Harrison Ford talking about freedom and how, we it's not given, it's earned, and he's talking about respect for real heroes, not people who as he's talking that, to show a picture of him as Han Solo, and it was really well done.
Huh,
Really tugged on the heartstrings, and it was, that's the one that really stood out to me.
yeah.
But other
I
than
I always like it's kind of cringy when I see like celebrities talking about like the real heroes
yeah.
because like it's their life goal to
Yeah.
become an actor or like celebrity and they work so hard and they're part of this big machine to make them these superstars
Hmm.
that's like you didn't have to be part, like you didn't have to be a false hero. You could have been a librarian, you could have been whatever. So
Yeah.
like it kind of seems kind of like they love the adulation, but then at the same time, like, oh, I'm a good person, like here's a real hero.
Mm,
Like, I don't know. It
I
just
see what
it
you mean.
kind of I did see the commercial with like Snoop Dogg and was it Tom Brady talking
Oh,
about like
okay.
be a good person or I don't know, something like that.
I think it was like hate, right? It's like I don't even know why I hate you. I just do, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated the commercial.
Yeah. I hate you so much. I made this commercial about it or something.
Yeah, it was stupid.
There was plenty of silly commercials out there this year. A lot of celebrities, like the Little Caesars one with Eugene Levy and his eyebrows taking off and fluttering around. Uh,
Oh, and like they like flew through the air.
yeah, and then they landed on a branch and some caterpillars are like, "We're not worthy."
Yeah, I
That
think
was
I saw that
silly.
one. Yeah. Speaking of silly, I saw a movie called Love Hurts, um,
Hmm.
which is definitely silly. It was fun. I watched it Tuesday night. It's with the actor from the Goonies. I can't say his name.
Ki Wee Kwan, right?
That sounds about
Ki
right.
Wee Kwan, something like that. Yeah,
And Ariana De Bois or
yeah.
I don't know how to say her name either. Uh, she's in it. Um, I think there are a lot of people with weird names, Giganay or something. I don't know.
Just to trip you up. That was the whole point of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Let's say Ariana Cam. There's a football player I think in the movie. I forget what his name is.
Isn't it Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was actually really good in it.
yeah.
Uh,
He's a surprisingly good actor. Yeah,
Yeah. It was fun. It was definitely kind of cheesy. The fight scenes were really cool, like the choreography, the surprise like use of like certain objects as weaponry was fun. Sean Astin is that his name? Sean Astin from the Goonies.
hmm.
He's he's in it as well, so like they kind of reunited for a second.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Okay.
that was kind of cool to see him. He looks a lot different, but he was in it. Um, but it's I mean I looked at the reviews and it's not getting the best of reviews. I didn't go in with these like super high expectations that it's going to be like the best movie ever and he's going to be like the new Bruce Lee or something like that, but it was just fun to see him having
Fun.
martial art fights,
Yeah.
and he's a really cool guy. Like I like him as an actor, as a person. It was just fun to watch.
Yeah. I
Getting me
remember
choked up.
it was that good. It's just choking you up. I do want to see it. It looks really good. Yeah, it's the actor. He's just great. He's very humble.
Yeah,
Very. I remember he was sharing a story about how when he first came back into acting, how he met up with Harrison Ford, and then Harrison Ford saw him in the room. Was like, "Is that you, Short Round?" And then they embrace and they give a big hug. So that's
yeah,
kind of fun. Yeah,
yeah. He definitely doesn't seem like he's been affected by any sort of stardom or by Hollywood. Like he seems like a regular guy,
yeah,
which is kind of refreshing and cool.
yeah.
So that's why I was kind of hoping that this movie do well, it would perform so that it allows him to continue to work because I think he's a really cool actor.
I think he'll continue to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, his he won the an Oscar, right? So yeah,
Yeah, they both did. Both him
yeah,
and Ariana both
that's
won.
true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, there's some good acting or good actor.
Oh man. Well, while you were out watching that film, I was not watching, playing a video game. And I only bring it up because it's Call of Duty, which I haven't really played so much before, but they released this new, or they're having this event, which is going on for the Terminator. So,
Okay.
so they have a skin like Arnold Schwarzenegger's full, his what he comes out on, right? And you can play as him, and then he has some of his voice packs, and it's been really fun to walk around and see the Terminator walking around with a shotgun shooting people. So
Yeah.
it's just been really fun watching that, getting to play against him. I'm not going to spend the money on it, but
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Nice. Speaking of like ultra violence, I saw rewatched a movie last night, Dredd. Have you seen that?
The one with Keith Urban.
I don't know who the star is.
Or
It's like
Judge
Judge
Dredd, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
the remake, not the Stallone one, right?
right.
Yeah, I think it's Urban. Yeah,
Is it? It's so good.
it
It's such.
is. Mm-hmm.
I
Carl
mean,
Urban, not Keith Urban.
yeah, I was like, oh, I don't think so.
I knew it was an Urban.
Yeah. It's such a cool action film. Like such, it's so cool.
Hmm.
Uh, it's definitely worth rewatching. It's unfortunate they didn't make any other sequels after that.
Yeah, the people are. I always see when people are like promoting, they should make a sequel of this or that or this. Dread is always one of the top ones that comes in the conversation.
Yeah, really cool. It was just it's I don't know. It's like such a fun movie to watch.
I can top your violent movies. I watched a movie recently that was also very violent,
What
and that
was
was
it?
Inglourious Basterds.
Okay,
And yes, I was cheering every time a Nazi died, I guess. So,
as one should.
as one should. So, yeah, that was fun. Nostalgia, even though
Yeah,
it's not even that old of a movie.
it's it's kind of old though, isn't it? Like, it has to be what, like 10 years old?
Is it? Oh my goodness, I
I
hope
think
not.
so.
Man, you make me do all sorts of searches. Yeah, 2009. So it is like 16 years old.
Oh wow, it's 16 years old.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
interesting. Oh wait, is that? Wait, hold on. That came up as Pride of the Nation, the movie within the movie.
Ah,
Yeah, it's still 2009. Okay,
all right.
interesting. Yeah, that
Yeah,
movie was good. It was really the part where Brad Pitt shows up to the movie premiere and his only Italian is Buongiorno.
no, such a good movie.
It
It's
is.
really good.
It just cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing this past week in pop culture.
Yeah, I could see what would motivate you to want to watch that movie or rewatch it right now. So
Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out again. That's another reason why I like getting back into like Captain America too. And like
Mhm.
it's fun to like look at old comics where he's like beating up Nazis.
Yeah. I should go watch Captain America 1, 2, and 3, and then Falcon and Midnight Soldier just to build up to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. There you
Yeah.
go. Homework.
When I went to the movies, it's kind of just a side note. That there's that cartoon that came out that's like half man, half dog. I think it's
Oh,
called
Man Dog. Dog Man. Yeah.
Dog Man, and it was so funny because this little boy bought the popcorn tray
Uh-huh.
that for that movie, and it's a literal dog bowl, and they put the popcorn in it, and he was eating it like a dog. It was so funny. I just thought it was really hilarious to see this little kid with like a dog bowl eating the popcorn like a dog.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Is that by the same person who did Captain Underpants? Same creator?
Probably.
Sounds
I
like it would be the same universe, huh?
Yeah, I'm way too old to like know anything about those. Like I know they're really popular, but I don't know anything about them.
I mean, I watched the Captain Underpants film just because it was Kevin Hart, Ed Helms is the voice, right?
Oh, okay,
And then Weird Al did like the theme song, so that's part of the reason I watched it.
nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
dog. Very cool. Well, out there, what have you guys been watching this past week, or enjoying, or imbibing in? What pop culture have you been devouring? Let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to make sure we catch up with what you're watching or embarking on. And then I guess if you have nothing else, Gabe, we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.